This is where you can get all the information about the customer inquiry details, like who is the customer, like what is the inquiry number. If you have some ERP or SAP, you can get all those details from there, or you can actually take the inputs from here. The next stage is basically where you can define the rack, what kind of rack you want. There are three options here. One is size based, pallet based, and SKU based. So if I go for size based rack, then you have to define the length, then the depth of the rack and height of the rack. So here I am defining the length, a clear length, then this is the rack length, the depth, height of the rack, and number of levels of the rack. You can also define whether you want to keep some material on the ground, or then you can enter the weight per level. You can actually have different weights and different levels. Here you can define you get actually how much load is there on the rack. Then the rack accessories you can check. Now we can define another rack, so you can actually define n number of racks at one particular instance. Now in this case we are going to define a rack which will have an underpass. So once all the racks are defined, the next step is basically to lay them on the ground. So we need to define the layout. We can also define accessories for labels. So these are all accessories for a particular level. So whether we want pallet arrestor, like decking panels and stuff like that. Here you can take the inputs for aisle spaces, vertical or horizontal aisle spaces. Here you enter the area of the length of the area, how much area you have, and then once that is done, okay, here we get all the racks which are defined so far and the aisle spaces, so that you can define them, how many number of rows you want, how many columns you want in that layout. So right now what I'm doing is here I am defining type A rack, okay, back to back, and I need a underpass from this place, so I'm defining type B here only for this particular column. So you have type A rack in this complete row back to back, except these two which are going to be type B. Once you do that, then after back to back rack you can define a horizontal aisle space for your equipments to move around. So by clicking the generate layout button, actually you can see the actual preview of how the racks are going to look like with their actual proportion. So the yellow line shows that this is a aisle space, a horizontal and a vertical aisle space. We haven't used any vertical aisle space so far, but we can see that, and all the different types of racks are basically differentiated using different colors. So this is a preview which you can see in the application itself. This area here gives you a rack summary as an type A rack, what is the size of the rack and how many main and how many add-on modules are being used. Type B rack, there are no main modules because this comes in between two type A racks. So main modules are 0 and 4 add-on modules are there. So basically 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once you do that, we have to click on output to take the output, which actually calculates the bill of material for all the racks which are utilized in the layout, and they are stored in the Excel file. Okay, once that is done, the next step is to basically create a drawing. Now when you click on create drawing, it starts AutoCAD, and it is going to create basically a layout. Then in that layout it is going to show only the plan view of racks and how they are laid out, and then it is going to create for each type of rack. It is going to create elevation, side view for main module, elevation and side view for add-on module, and if we have used a back-to-back racking, then it is also going to show me a side view of back-to-back, so that it shows me exactly how much space we have kept between two racks. Okay, and if we are using any rack spacers. So once AutoCAD drawing is created, it also converts that into a PDF file. So now this is a PDF file which is just created within no time for from a sales perspective. Okay, a salesperson who doesn't even know AutoCAD, he doesn't need to know AutoCAD basically. He has to just enter the values in the application, and once those all the values are entered, just click on the layout to define the layout, and then click on create drawing to create a drawing. Now you will see that this is a layout which we just saw in the application, and the applications, there were 4 racks which we chose about of type B. So you can see that those were having underpass, so we also write underpass. These are all with dimension and everything. There is a rack summary on the drawing. All the inputs in the nameplate are also filled up through the application, because we are taking that information in the application. So once this PDF is generated, you can immediately hand it over to the customer. You can send it through a mail, or you can have a if you are having a discussion across the table, you can show it to the customer, and it would help you to take the approval from the customer on a on a faster basis. Okay, this is what I was talking about, the elevation of the rack. So you can see that it is also showing you L1, L2, L3, L4. So for type A rack we had 4 levels, and each level was carrying 1000 kg weight. What was the height of each level, then what is the standard distance we are going to keep at the bottom, the maximum loading height, rack height, and maximum material height. These are all different heights. Then this is 2000 is the clear distance which is available in terms of length. This is the rack length which is for add-on, which is for main, and this is the rack length which is available for add-on module. This is the side view where we are showing the depth of the rack. It shows the pallets as well in the side view. Whatever accessories we are using, in the application, if we have checked certain accessories that we want those accessories, the quantity of the accessories is found out from the layout. Like for example, if I'm using a L-type guard and C-type guard, so from the layout we know how many corners are being formed, and for each of those corners there will be a one L guard which is required. And for each joint where we have not exactly joint, but like for each of point where there is a main and add-on module are being put together, we need a C-type column guard. So all the quantity of both these kind of guards is calculated based on the layout. There is a logic which is built in for that, and then we show the images of the accessories which are being selected by the customer. Now this is the type B rack which we defined, where we had an underpass. So basically wherever we keep a distance of 2500 millimeters, then that is treated as a underpass, so that the some equipment can pass through, or we can use that as an underpass. After that we selected decking panel for that particular level in type B. Okay, so the moment I use GI decking panel, it shows up in the drawing also that it is using GI decking panel. And this is type B rack, where we had only two levels in the rack. So this is basically now let's say if your customer comes back to you and says that okay, I would like to change the layout design a little bit, and then we make some changes, like I have added another horizontal aisle space, then I have added another row of type A rack. Okay, then you can quickly do that in the same application. If you reopen the same inquiry number, okay, then we keep the track of revision, wherein revision 1, revision 2, revision 3 can be opened, and we can modify it. The moment anything gets modified in the rack or in the layout, okay, then it is treated as a new revision. So now you can see that I have added a horizontal aisle space, and then I have added a row of a rack. So when you click on generate layout, it is going to show you a new layout, as well as it is also going to find out or calculate that okay, you have only 10,000 millimeters width or 10 meter width, and the amount of racking and aisle spaces you are using, it is going beyond that. So do you still want to continue? So basically this is kind of a validation checkpoints which are provided, so that the salesperson also by mistake should not enter the values which are not correct. Of course you can still create a drawing, there is no restriction on that, but it gives a warning and then you can continue with that. So it is going to create a new drawing with updated information in the layout. So basically the two drawings of racks are not going to change, because we haven't changed anything in the rack definition as such, but the layout is changed. So the new drawing is going to show you now that one row has been added, and that row is actually coming out of the area which is allocated by the as area of storage, and then it is going to convert it as a PDF again. So you can see that here now the available width was 10,000, whereas the rack is basically going just beyond that available area. So these kind of things are taken care in this application.